Welcome to the
Hi.
Heart. We're so excited you've joined us. We have a conversation here with Adrienne. So just make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel, and you'll get to see all of our new content that we release on Mondays and Thursdays. And
Yes.
actually, Adrienne, I'm really excited because it was actually your idea to kind of start our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and I'm really excited that we did, especially
Yeah,
when I'm the one being interviewed. I thought we'd be
I
filming other people.
know. I know.
No, that's okay though. I'm really excited about this because next week we're going to interview Christian, and we've had an opportunity to meet Maggie, Pastor Elba, Stacy, and it's we're enjoying introducing ourselves to everybody out there.
Yeah, so how long have you been at the Heart, at the Father's Heart?
I want to say it's well, I came here. It was like 5 years ago for a couple weeks, and that was my introduction to the Father's Heart. But currently, I've been here. It's been like 19 months, I
19
think.
months.
Yeah,
That's
going on
awesome.
20. So it's been a decent amount of time.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm so happy that I got the privilege to meet you. You were my big sister in the
Yeah.
program. She showed me the ropes and really took me under her wing. But so what brought you to the Father's Heart?
Well, I've been struggling with mental health issues, alcoholism, and drug addiction pretty much my entire life since I was about 15. That was my first onset of mental health issues at 15.
Wow.
The most impactful um, account of a mental health issue was when I was 15. And then it just kind of got worse from there. I was in my first rehab when I was 17, and that was a secular rehab. And it just continued on from there. It went from mental health to drug rehabs to jails and other institutions.
Right, right. And so what really like did you people always talk all the time about like rock bottoms. Did you have a rock bottoms where you were like, I'm done, I got to do something different?
I mean, I think I hit a lot of different rock bottoms, and
Yeah.
it always initiated that thing inside of me that made me want to change, but I found it hard to change because I wasn't going about it in the right way. But I mean, my biggest rock bottom was being addicted to heroin, because that's something that I said I would never do, and I was an intravenous drug user, and I mean,
Wow.
that's something in my mind, like, I never thought that I would ever let myself get to that point, that I would be using a needle. And yeah, even looking back on it, I'm so disconnected from that person now,
Mhm.
not in an unhealthy way, in a healthy way, to where, like, I've mourned that life, and I've moved on from that life, and I don't recognize that girl anymore. But it's still, just looking back on it, I feel so much pain for her because I know what she was going through when she was in the midst of all that. And it's like a feeling of hopelessness that you can't change because you've gotten to this point to where you feel like the only option out of that lifestyle is death,
Yeah.
only because, like, it's the sickness that comes along with it, and not only the physical sickness but the mental sickness, to where you just feel completely stuck, like there's no other way to turn, and you're almost comfortable in the lifestyle that you've created for yourself and the ways and means that you use to get more.
Yeah, we definitely create patterns. It's that
Yeah.
cycle that we unfortunately stay in way too long. So then you came into the program, you were here for a year. So what was
Hmm.
that like? Like, did you come into the program knowing that God was going to change it all around? Like, did you grow up as a Christian, or what was that like?
Well, I came into this program as like a last resort almost, because I was removed. I was clean at that point from the heroin addiction for like 5 years, and relapsed on alcohol, and that took me to the same feeling of hopelessness that I was not able to get out of. And in the past, I had tried many different avenues of like spirituality and religion,
Mm,
and in my mind, Christianity didn't work for me because I still used again. but
Mm.
something was missing whenever I did become a Christian, and that was a relationship with God. And I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't understand that there was a difference between going to church and claiming that I was a Christian and believed in Jesus and an actual relationship with him.
Mhm.
So coming into this program, it was a last resort because I am a mother. So I didn't want to lose my children. And that's really what it came down to. I wanted to keep my children and I wanted to get back on my feet and I wanted to be healthy because I had experienced periods of sobriety and periods of clean time, but I never experienced really any change that encouraged me to stay in that lifestyle. There was always something that took me back out. So I did come in here as a last resort. I remembered visiting about, I said like 5 or 6 years ago,
Mhm.
2015, I think it was. And I remembered stopping in for that time. And I was like, well, maybe I should try that place again. And there was a series of events that led to that.
Mhm.
It was definitely divine. Maybe we'll talk about that in another video sometime, but it was definitely divine that I ended up here again. And I really just came in like broken and ready for something different because I had exhausted everything. I
Right.
exhausted rehabs, outpatient treatments, even being in jail. Nothing was changing me. Nothing was helping me get a long period of sobriety together. And I mean, I came in and I was just vulnerable and
Yeah.
ready for something new. And once I went through the process, something started to change inside of me. And I was introduced to God in a different way than I've ever been introduced to him before.
Mhm.
And that's really truly what changed everything inside of me is not knowing about him and what he could do, but actually feeling his presence and
Mhm.
feeling what he could do and feeling his love and feeling his forgiveness.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned the drug problem kind of started with the mental health. So when you came in
Yeah.
here, how did your mental health improve?
Well, I came in. I don't know if anything improved other than the fact that I gave myself an opportunity to actually live life without medications.
Yes.
So who knows what came first, the chicken or the egg? But I did come in on um, a page full of different medications, and I was told my entire life. I told you I went to my first psychiatric hospital when I was 15 because I tried to commit suicide
Mm.
as a teenager, and they put me on medications. I was prescribed to Ritalin and uh, Zoloft or what's the other one?
Prozac.
Prozac.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ritalin and Prozac. That was my first two medications, and I was on them, and I just continued to be on medications for the remainder of my life, and
Mhm.
never really gave myself an opportunity or thought that I could come off of them because I was always told by the doctors that I needed to be on medications
Mhm.
or I would try to kill myself or I would end up back in the hospital. And that's what they drilled into my head. And that's what I lived by because
Yeah.
that's what a professional told me. So when I came in here, they told me I couldn't be on medication. So I actually, when I went to detox for the alcohol before I came in, I told the doctor that I had to detox off the psychiatric medications as well. So they took me off of them and I came in and oh man, I was a train wreck.
Mm.
I will say if anyone's considering coming off of psych meds out there, it's not an easy process. It's definitely an emotional roller coaster, but it is really, really worth it because I can think straight now and I can, I'm able to function in a different way than I ever have been before.
Mhm.
And I believe that medication was definitely holding me back from who I truly was.
Yeah, and I love that because it's complete healing. It's not just fixing one thing. He wants
Hmm.
to completely heal us and just coming in with that vulnerability and humility that I know you have. So you did the program, and where are you at now?
I'm currently, well, I live in the area now, and this is like Westmoreland County for those of you who are watching, but I've relocated to the area, and I'm a staff member at the Father's Heart now. And yeah, I mean, everything is changed, and I've developed a desire and just a love for, excuse me, for other women who are
Yeah.
struggling. And I've always had a desire inside of me to help people, but I never really knew how I could help people because I couldn't even help myself. So now that I'm able to help myself, I definitely want to try to influence other people who are struggling to find the same help that I found. And it truly was only through finding a relationship with Jesus that I found freedom from everything that I was struggling with, because there truly is a difference between knowing who God is and knowing God
Absolutely.
personally.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, once I found that, once I crossed that line, things were absolutely different for me.
Yeah. And who better to help than someone who's been there, they've
Yeah.
done the struggle, and they've seen the other side of it. So thank you so much. If you
Thank
guys have
you.
any questions or comments for Adrienne, just leave them on the page. And thank you so much for joining us. And again, like and subscribe.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.